Joining us now is Elina Shirazi, a first-generation Iranian and reporter for the Daily Mail. Elina, it's great to see you again tonight. We've spoken to you before about what's actually happening on the ground right now in Iran. But first, I want to ask you about your family. They're still there. What is your experience like living under this theocratic regime?
Dee, thank you so much for having me again. I appreciate it. I really grew up hearing a lot of stories. Some of these stories were happy. Unfortunately, a lot were also sad. When you're the child of immigrant parents, you learn a lot about perseverance. You take a lot of those lessons seriously as an adult. You can see some photos of my grandparents and my family, my aunts, my mom on your screen there. That's what things used to look like before things really went dark for Iranians. My parents actually fled the 1969 Iranian Revolution when the Shah, the king, was overthrown and the Islamic Republic took hold. Religious clerics at the time, they were offering things for free electricity, free water. But my parents always said that it turned out freedom had a very high price. The economy started to crumble and people started to realize the terrible new world that they just found themselves in. My father was actually on the last Pan Am flight out of Tehran in December that year that went to the United States. It was, like he always told me, growing up, it was a full flight of over 200 Iranians who landed in a foreign country, not knowing the language, leaving everything and everyone that they knew behind. And a lot of his family is still there today.
And
my mom's side, yes.
And Alina, just to fast forward to today, you mentioned that people on the ground in Iran have contacted you. What are they saying?
Yeah, so right now information is slowly trickling out of Iran, and we can stand back and fully see the size and the scope of this disaster of a government that uses people as human shields to really just immortalize their own rule and their corruption. Wanted to read you some messages that I'm getting if I can, and this is from this week. This is translated from Farsi to English. They don't spare us on the streets. If your hand comes out of your pocket, they used to beat you. Now they just shoot. They interrogate families of martyrs. They say, sit down, tell us what happened to your father, and then they make them sign a paper promising not to file a complaint. Some people, out of fear, held mass funerals for their children before the bodies were even released. People can't even chant slogans from their homes anymore. Now they shoot everyone that they hear. They chased and killed children. One of them died in an alley. Another one died on top of a utility pole. A 16-year-old kid gets shot in the street. When people try to save him, he shouted, "Death to the dictator." Then right in front of everyone, they put a bullet in his head. A lot of tough messages, Dee, coming out of Iran, and it's honestly incredible to think of the freedoms that we all take for granted here in America.
Hearing your personal story and hearing those messages that you just read, all of that considered, do you believe that Iran is actually on the brink of change?
Iranians have been fighting for their rights for as long as I can remember. We saw with the Mahsa Amini protests, with a lot of women and even children leading the protests. And this time around, we're almost hitting a month here. The new revolution is what people are calling it. I think that Iranians have made it clear that they're willing to, unfortunately, die for their freedom. And they're really just begging for a sort of lifeline right now for the world to hear them. And they're doing what they can to start a change from within, and they're hoping that the world will take notice of all of their efforts. Dee.
Elina Shirazi, it's always great to get your perspective. Thank you for joining us tonight on the National News Desk.
Thanks, Dee. I appreciate it.